So I'm fortunate enough today to have with me Mike LaFond, who is a board member for ClaimsXchange. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing well, Sydney. How are you this afternoon?
I'm great, thanks. So with all the board members, we're trying to get a feel for who you are, with what you do for work and also what you do when you're not at work, and to kind of get, an idea of what makes you, you. So can you start with really, what do you do now and who do you work for and what do you do in your current capacity?
Sure. So currently I work for Pekin Insurance, and I'm one of their directors of claims, and I run the litigation for the claims department and for the company. So all the litigation of the company and all the litigation of the department comes through my units.
And so did you start there, or what did you do to get there?
Okay, so I originally, like all of us, I fell into insurance. I was when I graduated law school, I was clerking for several different judges over the years, and then my mother-in-law was very tired of me taking her daughter and bahaing her around different parts of Wisconsin and the country, and so she came to me one day and said, "Hey, would you be interested in an in-house position with an insurance company called General Casualty?" And I said yes, and so I submitted my resume, and a couple of weeks later, I was sitting down working litigated claims for a super regional carrier called General Casualty out of Madison, Wisconsin. And then over the years, I've held different positions and just progressed and moved to different jobs. Eventually, I landed at Pekin Insurance.
What was your very first job? Not insurance, not after college. What was your very first job that you had?
Well, my very first job ever, I started when I was 12, and I was bussing tables and washing dishes at a local supper club in Wisconsin. And yes, I use the word supper club because I use it intentionally, because in Wisconsin, restaurants that are designed for eating out or dining late at night are called supper clubs, and that's just a unique thing about Wisconsin. So I literally started bussing tables and washing dishes at age 12.
Well, that's 12 is kind of young, and that's kind of impressive actually, because that's very different from the paperboy positions that people have when they were like 14 or 15 years old with their bikes and stuff.
Yeah.
So besides bussing tables when you were 12, what else did you do then that you may still be doing now as far as something that you enjoy doing?
Well, I enjoy water skiing. I don't know if you know this, but I water ski competitively with some teams, and I started water skiing when I was about 12 or 13, about that same time frame, and I've water skied since then up until the current state. And I water ski with a team out there, and what they call it show skiing.
Wait. So are you talking about the kind where like they build pyramids and stuff, or like just groups of people water skiing on a lake?
Nope, I'm talking about the types where they build pyramids and stuff, and where people go off ramps and do backflips and people carry other people. So if you've ever seen Tommy Bartlett or Cypress Gardens water ski shows, that's the type of water skiing I'm talking about.
So are these types of shows, are they, do you win anything with these? Like, are they first, second, third place types of shows, or are they just purely for entertainment?
Yes, they are competitions out there. So there's a state and a regional and a national circuit that most teams compete in, and all the teams I've skied with most of my life have been competitive teams out there. So every summer I'll water ski, and I actually water ski with my daughter. She's been skiing with me now for about probably 7 or 8 years.
How old is she?
Yep.
How old is she?
She's 12.
Oh, so she's about the age now that you were when you started, though.
Correct. Yeah. But since I've been water skiing competitively for so long, I started her the moment she could walk on water skis. So
have you won anything in your competitions? Have you taken it far with your competitive skiing?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I'm a 7-time national champion with the different teams.
Get out of here.
Yep. Absolutely. Seriously.
So a bit about you that I was curious about a while back was that I found so endearing about you is that you tend to like to wear graphic t-shirts underneath a sport coat. And I asked you about it a long time ago, and I specifically asked you to wear one today so that we could talk about it, because I find that so adorable. And I love the fact that, and I want you to tell the story about why you about your t-shirts, and because I know you have so many of them, but tell me what it is about the t-shirts that tell me about your t-shirts.
Okay, so it's very easy. I like graphic T-shirts, and I like fun T-shirts that when you look at them, you have to kind of question something, right? So we can all wear a suit or a tie or a sport jacket when we're at conferences or events, but it's almost a talking piece for people to start a conversation with you and have a conversation with you, engage, and we can have a conversation about it. So all of my T-shirts generally are usually a little unique. And are at least conversation starters. So like the one I'm wearing today, on this one, this is one of my current favorites right now because my son gave it to me out there. And if you can see it now, it is a Peanuts character.
Is that Freddie Mercury playing Peanuts piano?
It is. Actually, it's Schroeder dressed as Freddie Mercury playing on the piano, right? And the reason I have this T-shirt, very simply, is because my son right now, who's 7, is really into Queen, believe it or not. So his mother has taught him very good classic rock skills, and he heard some songs by Queen. And so every night before he goes to bed, or when he's cleaning up or brushing his teeth, he'll say like, "Alexa, play songs by Queen."
Fantastic.
Yeah, and it's adorable. So he for one of I'm not sure whether this was Father's Day or my birthday or something like that, he bought me this T-shirt. And again, it's a Peanuts T-shirt. It's themed, but again, it's Freddie Mercury sitting at the piano, so you get the Queen connection and you get the Peanuts connection, and it's just fun and interesting. So I have another one.
Okay, show me.
That's somebody very special. Actually, the person sitting across from me.
Oh, you brought my shirt.
Has actually gotten me one since I like T-shirts. Let me hold this up so you can see it. So this is a T-shirt that was gotten for me by you.
Yep, and there's a meaning behind that too. When we were when I sent it to you, it's a tire that's watering a plant, and the meaning behind it is basically to be patient. Yes, because exactly. At some point that plant's going to be a big tree, and that's where that tire is going to be swinging from. And I saw it and I was like, I have to get this for you because I love this, because we were both in a place where we needed to be patient. Yeah. Flipping back over to like a professional situation, if you were to pick a job, like a job or a career that you would love to have, like a dream job, what would that look like for you?
Oh, that's really easy. I would be a college professor, without question.
And which topic?
You can name it. So I two primary topics that I know. I have my degree in chemistry, and when I was in undergraduate, I was a TA, and I taught chemistry at the college level out there. And I worked with one of the top research and teaching professors in Madison, Wisconsin, called Professor Shakashiri. He kind of gave me the love of teaching out there. So I could probably teach chemistry still. I'd have to get credentialed a little bit. I mean, I have the credentials, but I probably have to get some type of certificate, I'm sure. But for about 12 years, I taught business law at Carroll University, just outside of Milwaukee. And I really liked it. I was an adjunct professor. I commuted in from Madison to Waukesha. The class was once a week, 6 o'clock till 9:30 at night. So it was long. And I did that for a while, and I really liked it. So my dream job, if I could have it, and it could, support my family, I'd like to be a college professor and teach something, something around law or chemistry or math or science would all be fine.
When we're out of this whole thing, if we were out of it next week and you could pick up and go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Yeah, I would pick up and I would take the family on a vacation. And to me, it doesn't really matter exactly where. Out there, we've been to Florida, we've been to California, we've been to northern Wisconsin, but just to kind of go and get away. Someplace, it's cold here now, so someplace with water would be nice and someplace enjoyable. So we have spent a bunch of time in Florida. My wife's family has actually a condo down just north of Miami that we spend a lot of time with, and we've also spent a lot of time in Tampa Bay, the Tampa Bay St. Petersburg area as well. So
it sounds like you have a plan in place for when restrictions get lifted and you can come down, because I'm right here, so then I can come and visit you down here, which would be great. See you down here and hang out with you and your family. It's been great getting to know you a little bit better. A lot of things I didn't know. Some stuff I did, but a lot of stuff I didn't know. It's you're a little bit of an enigma, a little bit of a surprise for me. I'm happy to say that. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for being part of the ClaimsXchange board and helping us grow and be the kind of organization that I know we can be with your help. And I appreciate you very, very much.
Well, Sydney, I appreciate you as well. Thank you for the time and thank you for the interview.
Had no idea that we had that in common because I was a teacher for 15 years before I started working in the industry. So I didn't realize that. And there is something amazing to be able to impart knowledge and to be able to see when the idea that you're trying to present is then gotten or received and mastered, and it's a way of giving back that you can't get any other way. And I loved it. I really did love it. And I do miss it, but not enough to go back to it right now. But also looking at this in a different way, you're now home with your kids because we're in a situation where we're all home with our kids, right? Are you finding it easier or harder to teach them, if you're even doing that task, than you would be teaching the upper level upperclassmen?
It is way more difficult teaching my 7-year-old his stuff than it ever was teaching any college kid about chemistry or nomenclature or business law. And it's just because it's your child and the expectations are different, right? You know, Derek in my home office right now, I sit Derek next to me every morning about 8 o'clock. You know, I start work about an hour before that. He comes down about 8 and he starts working on his schoolwork now because they're tele-learning. And he sits down with me for a good hour to an hour and a half, and I'm trying to do my work and his work, and then I'm helping him along and progressing in that. And I find that more challenging and more difficult than I probably ever did teaching college kids. And it's because you're teaching your own kid.
Well, and they don't
Right?
listen to parents, right? They don't listen to us the way they do to the teacher.
Correct. Yes. When I'm standing up in front of a bunch of college kids, they're paying attention to me. To my 7-year-old, I'm dad, not the teacher.
Well, that, and the college kids are also paying to be there. He doesn't get it.
That is true. That's true. Yeah, Derek is definitely not paying me to sit next to him and teach him. That is a true statement.